Hello everybody, Joe Baggy Donuts here, and welcome back for another episode of One. Sorry I'm uploading this a day late. I had some things to do yesterday, and yeah, I just never got around to it. I tried recording a little bit of it yesterday, but I was 1 liter deep into my sake binge. I got like 2 screens past this, like 3 lines of dialogue, and it had been like 5 minutes of me just like drunkenly rambling. Yeah. Yep. Yesterday wasn't the best day for me, you know. I had to stay up late, go in to work, fill out some paperwork. Found out my date stood me up for Sunday. Just completely ghosted me, so that was cool. But on the plus side, I'm getting a medal for what I did in Afghanistan. Woo! Fucking add that one to the rack. But anyway, maybe Kohei's love life will go a little better, huh? Rooting for you, bud. Anyway, what happened last time? Akane standing in the rain, being weird, disassociating, pining for ex-childhood friend Kohei, who was completely forgotten about her. At least that's the vibe it's giving off. Unless it's you know, she's completely just projecting those feelings onto him, which is also a possibility. But if this is yet another lost connection from his childhood, from locking himself away in his mind / eternity, very consistent theme there with the other routes. Anyway, let's just get into it. Knock knock. It's the KGB. What the fuck? Hello? There we go. That was weird. Trying to be as quiet as possible, I knock on the door to my own room. There is no reply. Coming in. After a brief moment of hesitation, I turn the knob and slowly open the door. Oh, what's up, Akane? Whose pajamas are those? You fucking steal those from your aunt? Were you awake? Or had she just woken up at the sound of my knocking? Also surprised, I have like 0 hangover and feel fucking fantastic after being pretty fucking sloshed last night, so nice. I don't know what it is about sake, but it just seems like it's, I don't know how to describe it, like a clean alcohol, if that makes sense. Like there's like no hangover to it, at least for me. Like, I don't think I've ever gotten a hangover just like drinking sake, but like if I'm like out and about, like on the town, and it's like, oh yeah, we fucking doing tequila. Oh, you got some Hennessy? Aight. Fucking screwdrivers, White Russians. Hell yeah, all day, man. I wake up in the morning feeling like I need to go to the hospital, but I mean, just a little dehydrated. I'm supposed to get weaker as I get older, but I'm getting stronger. Maybe my liver's just getting used to it. Without a yes or a no, Akane simply continues to stare at me as I stand in the doorway. It seems she hasn't quite grasped the situation. You collapsed over in that empty lot. I try to speak as gently as possible, as though convincing a child. Despite this, she doesn't move a muscle, continuing to look up at my face with those emotionless eyes. I don't know, they don't seem very emotionless. This is my room. Actually, I wanted to take you back to your house, but I didn't know where it was. It's kind of dirty in here, but please bear with it. Finally, she begins to move her neck. Taking her gaze away from me, she looks over the unfamiliar room. Then her gaze comes to a stop on the clothes she's wearing. Just so you know, I wasn't the one who changed you out of your clothes. Like, you call Nagamori over? I told you once before, haven't I? That I live with my aunt? Oh, you got Yukiko-san to do it? I asked her to change your clothes. After all, I couldn't just leave you like that. Those pajamas belong to her, too. Yeah, I was about to say, you don't seem like the fucking pink pajama kind of guy. I'll just leave your uniform here. I placed her uniform on my chair. I had Yukiko-san dry them in the clothes dryer. Well, I'll be leaving now. Oh, that's right. Are you feeling cold, Akane? She gradually shakes her head from side to side. That's good. I'll be downstairs, so give me a call if anything happens. She gives a nod. Feel free to use that bed until you're feeling better. See you later. I turn my back to her and open the door again. And just as I'm about to leave... one more thing, Akane. She slowly turns her gaze in my direction. You've been dumped. A fragile voice. A voice so frail that even the slightest sound could drown it out. I walk out of the room, leaving her on her own once more. I feel as though I'll hear the sound of her crying from behind the closed door at any moment. It's not a sound I want to hear, so I move away from the door. I sink into the sofa in the deserted living room, casting a casual glance up at the ceiling. Mood. So your aunt gonna have anything to say about this? Or just like, oh, you brought home a completely soaked to the bone, unconscious girl? Yeah, man, I'll change her pajamas and just, go to work. Bye. Whatever. I have any number of things to think about. But right now, the only thing that's important is that Akane gets well. I'll give it a sec. One of my sinuses is completely like fucking closed up from sleeping on my side. Making breathing weird. The living room door opens The living room door unexpectedly opens with a thump. Also weird that you have a living room door. There stands Akane, wearing her usual uniform. Akane, are you feeling okay already? She gives a nod, weakly, but with much greater clarity than a little while ago. Given the time, you may as well have gotten some more sleep. Look at the clock, it's just a little past 3 o'clock. In the morning, or... just around the time when 6th period finishes. Okay, no, cool. I had my aunt contact the school and your house. Don't worry, I told them you were just feeling a little unwell. The call was from a woman, so Akane's parents ought to have been put at ease too. I mean... yeah... I guess, but also, like... no? Oh yeah. Next time you collapse, I'll be glad. I'd be glad if you could do it so near your house. What? Dude, my brain fucking failing. Where's my coffee? My god. Okay, maybe that alcohol did do some fucking damage last night and I'm just not feeling it. Next time you collapse, I'd be glad if you could do it so... you could do so near your house when it's not raining. There we go. That's a sentence. I can read. I can comprehend words. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy carrying you here. Well, naturally, I started by hugging you in my arms. Well, actually, I had Yukiko-san come around with the car.
Yukiko-san?
Yeah, that's my aunt. I caught her just as she was heading to work. What, was she just like driving by and you waved her down? Or well, it's the 90s, there's probably a payphone sitting around, like 5 feet away. She left as soon as she changed you and tossed your clothes into the dryer. Be sure to thank her if you get the chance next time.
ありがとう。
She stares downwards, her voice a quiet murmur. There's no point in saying it to me.
ありがとう。
Oh, don't cry. Raising her head, she looks straight at me, straight into my eyes, with tears welling up in her own. Akane?
本当にありがとう。
She makes no move to wipe them as they stream down her cheeks, only staring straight at me and gently smiling. It's the end of 4th period, and today is Saturday. In other words, all of today's classes have finished without a hitch. Nice! From the afternoon onwards, we're free to spend our time as we like. Each pursuing their own ideas, the guys from class are busy exchanging promises. Stealing my determination, I too stand up for my seat. Hold on a second, Akane. Catching Akane on her way home at the entrance hall, I call out to her.
何ですか？
Pausing with her hand extended towards her locker, she turns to reply in my direction. Why don't we go on a date right now?
デート？
She repeats the words back to me with a expression. After all, it's Saturday.
嫌です。
Her reply is instantaneous. Damn, if only, if only people would just, like, say that instead of being like, yeah, man, sure. When they're the ones who bring it up in the first place. And then they just leave you hanging there. It's great. Gotta love it. Yeah, at least listen to a little more of what I have to say before you reply. Yeah, what are we doing? Where are we dropping? It's a date, but we'll really just be wandering around the shopping district, seeing a movie, getting something tasty to eat. Just a normal date. Just a normal date course with no twist. How about it?
嫌です。
Good sprite, powerful. You don't have to be so definitive about it.
嫌です。
Definite, definitive, definite, 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 definite. She repeats once more. Anyhow, I'll be waiting for you.
行かないです。
When that time comes, I'll just change my objective from date to stroll and go for a walk in the park by myself.
はい。
But if you can come, I'd be glad if you did.
嫌です。
Mentally, I heave a sigh. Sure, it's the answer I was expecting, but it still makes me sad to hear her be so clear about it. It'll be at the park that we went to before. And the time will be, let's see. How does 2 o'clock sound?
わかりました。でも、行かないです。
When that time comes, I'll just do what I was... I'll just do what I just mentioned. There we go. Too many justs in that sentences threw me off. See you later, Akane. I'll leave after I've changed.
さようなら。
I wave to her, and she gives a small wave in reply. Taking my shoes out of my locker and changing, I'm about to walk outside when...
待って。
She calls me to a halt from behind. What's wrong? I turn around while tapping the tip of my shoe against the ground.
どうして私を誘ったんですか？
Well, think we can get you on the rebound. She sounds hesitant as she asks. Asks? Hmm? A little bit of Freudian slip there. I think, it's because I like you.
行きませんよ。
When that time comes...
散歩ですか？
There we go. Now you're getting it. Yeah. Adjusting the heel on my shoe with my finger, I turn around once more. And head outside. Ah, what a nice day. Looking up at the sky, it's a clear day without a single cloud in sight. I get the feeling that this is the first clear sky I've seen in a long time. Stretching out, I take a deep breath. Then, readjusting my bag, I set off on the road home. Tossing my bag onto my bed, I take off my uniform. Taking a somewhat light outfit off the hanger, I put it on. I button my trousers and stuff my wallet into my pocket. All set. I pat my pocket just to confirm that my wallet really is in there. Did you check your wallet to make sure you had any money in it? Opening the door, I head out into the corridor and then down to the first floor. A day with Akane, huh? But she's definitely not coming. It's tragic how much conviction I can say this with. After all, she personally said that she didn't want to go. But even so, I wanted to confirm it. How Akane really feels. I fill my stomach with a sweetened bun from the kitchen cupboard. Tossing the wrapper into the bin, I leave the house. Taking a seat on a park bench, I check my watch. 1:30. There's still plenty of time. Looking up at the clear blue sky, I heave a great big stretch. I give a great big stretch. Uh-oh. Whew. There's some dark clouds on the horizon there. Or, well, directly overhead. Heaving yet another sigh for the day, I look up to see the clouds rapidly moving between the wide gaps in the roof. Has the wind picked up? There wasn't a single cloud in the sky until just a little while ago. Sighing again, I look at my watch. 2:30. Just as I expected. I unwittingly say out loud, "Oh man, we wait. I sit there, waiting on this park bench that Akane and I had discovered together. Before I know it, the biting, freezing wind has changed into a warm, humid breeze. Nice. It seems the clouds that now cover the sky are getting thicker. Oh, or that was bad. I turn my gaze from the sky down to the park. Having noticed the ominous clouds, even the many students enjoying their Saturdays have left to seek shelter. What an unsociable bunch. Drip. Single drop falls onto my hands as they lie folded on top of my knees. Drip. Another drop falls onto my face as I unwittingly look up. Oh, this is a disaster. The rain begins to fall, its droplets growing in size before my eyes. At last, the drops become lines. Ooh, fucking nice downpour. In an instant, the droplets from the sky cover the park and the bench. Still sitting there in the same place, I gaze over the scenery of the park, which has been transformed in an instant. The few remaining people leave the park, looking for a place to avoid the rain. I'm the only one left. And of course we're gonna wait. Looking like someone has dumped a bunch of water over my head, I continue to sit there, looking pathetic. What am I doing? I try to look at my watch to check the time. But the dial is stained with rainwater, having also suffered a drenching. Okay, you can still read it. If only there was at least a roof here. I bemoan my situation while brushing the raindrops from my clothes. 2:50. Time is only there for a moment before being quickly sealed away by the downpour of raindrops. Streaming down my hair, the rain flows its way down to patter against the concrete paved ground. Oh wait, we believe in Akane! Cause it's like she was in the rain, but now it's like we're in the rain, and she'll come find us like we found her. Freezing and battered by the rain, I wait here for a person who I'm not even sure is coming. Someone were to ask me, why are you still waiting right now? Just how would I respond? I guess I'm in no position to criticize anyone else. I'd make for a ridiculous sight, waiting here meaninglessly, in an empty place. battered by the rain. For a person who shouldn't be coming. Person who shouldn't be coming. That's why. When I see her through, when I see her there through the rain, I assume it's just a mistake. Because there's no way she would be here. There's no way she would come to the place where I am. That's what I believed. Are you sure you haven't come to the wrong place? Akane comes up to me, holding that pink umbrella. Why'd you come here for me? Even after you said you wouldn't. Standing right beside me, she extends her umbrella to cover my body. Thank you for worrying. I see. Person willing to stand by me. Through the filter of the rain, I look at her. Look pretty wet for someone who's carrying an umbrella. She continues to watch the falling drops of water without looking in my direction. Thank you. Sheesh. If you're gonna get that soaked, there's no point in having an umbrella. I get the feeling that there's a faint smile on her face. I'll collapse again, doing something like that. What if I collapse too? What do you mean, yes, you're right? Hopping up from the wet bench, I turn to face her. You sure are, As I do, her eyes remain downcast. Hey, now you're getting it. You certainly are. She nods before raising her face. Akane? Thanks. For coming to me. For having chosen me. She displays the first big smile I've ever seen her give as she holds her umbrella up by my side. Thanks. Once again, I repeat those words of gratitude. That's how I honestly feel. Let's go home for today. We can't very well go see a movie like this. Yeah, movie theaters are like really cold, and if you go in there soaking wet, you'll die. You will just like freeze solid. Come on, I'll walk you home. What's wrong, Akane? Yeah, now that you mention it, you're right. Yeah, otherwise you'll have your head, like, fucking pressed up against the top of it. Akane looks rather cramped as she holds up the umbrella in order to ensure I don't get wet. Given the difference in our heights, it's not a comfortable position. Sorry about that. Leaning over in her direction, I accept the umbrella from her. She stares at my face. What's wrong? Battered by the rain, with her hair clinging to her skin, her entire body drenched in raindrops, she stands there motionless, with a transient air about her. Her teary eyes looking bravely up at me. From the bottom of my heart, I thought that she looked lovely. Now that you mention it, you're right. Still holding the umbrella, I draw towards Akane's freezing lips. Nice! Get some! Get it? Stretching up on her toes with all her effort, Akane moves her face closer. And so, smooch! We exchange our first kiss. I don't like that blue shirt you're wearing. It's like way too dark. It's like, what do you call that? Is that ultramarine? It might be ultramarine. I don't like that color of blue. Covered in the freezing rain, her lips are colder than I had imagined. Warm breath escapes from her lips as they begin to form a word. I want to nod. I want to move my head vertically, even by a fraction. I want to put Akane, to put the one I love at ease, but there is... At that moment, there is an eternity. As a frozen, I can't even bring myself to nod. Hello, eternity. Goodbye, eternity. A fresh, dazzling light pours in as I open the curtains. Reflecting off the window, it is tinged with rainbow hues. Today is the first day of March. According to the calendar, it's spring. And just for today, in reality too, the warmth I can feel is the very essence of spring itself. The weather today is warm and peaceful, as if the cold days up until yesterday never happened. I quickly change in my uniform and my shoulder bag. Then, looking up to the brilliantly clear sky, I take another deep breath. Just then, I hear the sound of someone pattering up the stairs. As always, my busybody childhood friend opens the door. It's a sound that signals the start of another peaceful, boring, and happy day.
以上が学期末試験の出題範囲だ。特に今日配ったプリントは重要なので、しっかり勉強しておくように。
What a fucking base teacher for actually telling you, like, hey, this will literally be on the test. This stuff right here. Yes, this. Study this. Instead of just like, you know, it covers the whole section. Beast. As if following his voice, the entire class holds up the printout that's been distributed. It's on a rough paper shuffling. Finally, the chime rings for the end of 6th period.
それでは今日はこれで終わり。
He leaves the classroom, chalk box in hand. Chalk box? I guess. You have your own chalk that you carry around? I mean, I get it. Like, I have a $80 mechanical pencil that I use. It writes amazing. It has 1.4mm graphite in it, so I never snap it. And it's, like, made of fucking wood. Big chunky boy, too. It's like an inch thick in the middle. Because I'm bougie like that. Casual conversation strikes up across the class. It must be because of the nice weather today. It's the ideal weather for stopping off somewhere on the way home. Oh, what's up? Akane calls out to me as I gaze outside through the window. Sure is a nice day.
Hi.
She looks up at the same sky as me, squinting as if dazzled. I can't stand being out in the sun now after working night shift for like a year. Like, if I get off late and it's like almost noon, it's like I can't see outside. It's like I have to squint and cover my eyes, otherwise the sun will like fucking fry my retinas. No, nothing. No, none. Sure, I was just thinking the same thing.
Hi.
So, where do you want to go? Shopping district, huh? Come to think of it, I heard the girls in class clamoring about a new menu at, Sanyodo. I suppose Akane must have her eye on it too. One thing I've realized after going out with her is that Akane has a fierce fondness for anything sweet. I mean, most people do. We're like, humans are genetically hardwired to enjoy sweet things, salty things, and fatty things. It is literally in our genetic code that our brain releases the feel-good chemical when we have those, because they're relatively hard to find in nature, especially sweets. What? Sorry, I was busy talking about fucking anthropology. Right then, let's go and get some waffles at Sanyodo. Nodding happily, although it doesn't really show on the outside, she gives an innocent, childlike smile. She loves sweets and cute things. And if I brought that up with her, she'd turn away with a shy expression. She really is just an ordinary girl. Although her tastes are a little unusual. It seems my thoughts are naturally showing on my face. Tilting her head, Akane peers into my face. Anyhow, now that that's settled, let's hurry to the shopping district. Hurriedly smoothing over the situation, I get up from my seat.
まだホームルームがあります
Bah. What a pain. Let's just skip it together.
嫌です
Don't worry, it'll be fine. You know, Hige. He probably wouldn't even notice if half the class was replaced with penguins.
可能性はあります
See? That's why we should just quickly get out of... Fuck! Before I know it, Hige has shuffled his way in to stand at the lectern. Ah, damn it. We're too late.
悪いことはできないものです
Fucking cock-blocked by Hige. Thanks, bro. Ugh, you could be right.
それでは後で
Giving a light bow, she returns to her own seat. Her expression will never be tinged with that deep sorrow again. Looking at her now, I can really believe it. It's getting a little hot, isn't it? Akane are running, unsheltered beneath the spring sun.
はい
It was really hot yesterday. Like, in the afternoon when I was out and about, it was like 65 degrees. And it's like the beginning of December. I was like, fuck. It's warm. Like, I was getting warm just in my flannel shirt. But today it's actually properly cold. It's like 30-something degrees outside. Which I noticed when the little pop-up tarp shed thing I have to cover my lawnmower and bike was like blown halfway across my backyard. I went out there, the grass is frozen. I'm like, this is not pleasant weather. Though I do prefer the cold, especially when the sun is out. Leaving the school, we head for the shopping district. Shall we just walk after all? I slow down to a jog while looking backwards to close the distance between us.
大丈夫です
Slightly increasing her pace, she catches up to walk by my side. Even at the best of times, it's a store that buzzes with students on their way home at around this time. Now that there's a new menu, there won't just be a queue. What? There won't just be a queue? It wouldn't be surprising if they sold out completely.
売り切れたら嫌ですから
Yeah, you're right. In that case, we'd better hurry.
はい急ぎます
She slightly increases her pace again. But even so, it's difficult for her to run with her pigtails swaying about like that. Entering the shopping district, we dash straight for our destination without so much as a sideways glance. Man, imagine living in a city that's actually walkable and you don't need a car to get around everywhere. I stand public transportation. Finally, the shopping district comes into view. Sanryo, the store that specializes in waffles. It was originally a fairly obscure store, but after having been introduced in magazines and on TV, it's now regularly packed with schoolgirls at this time of day. The two of us line up together at the end of the queue. Whew, somehow we made it.
はい
There sure are a lot of people here, though.
私たちも人のことは言えません
That's true.
はい
I mean, would have been faster if you, like, had a bike. Why don't you bike to school? You'd get there in, like, 5 minutes. Speaking of which, what's with this new menu?
わかりません
What, you don't know either?
はい
Hey, there's something posted in the front of the shop. Is that it? Akane stares in the direction I'm pointing. Well,
言えません
she sounds awfully sad. It seems Akane, who is a little shorter than average, is having trouble seeing the menu over the people in front of us. I mean, just one of you stay in line and the other one go up and look at it. In spite of this, she gets up on her tiptoes and hops up and down, struggling to see the menu while on the verge of tears.
やっぱり見えません
I'll read it for you.
はい
Man, imagine being able to read things far away. This video is brought to you by Astigmatism Gang and nearsightedness. Let's see. You already had plain chocolate and almond. So, is chocolate and almond like a combo one? Like, is it... This is why you use the Oxford comma. Plain, comma, chocolate, comma, and almond. Because if you do chocolate and almond, I don't know if those are two separate items or one chocolate with almond. Come on, translators. What the fuck? New ones are strawberry and coconut. Strawberry, yeah. Coconut, and what's that? The very bottom of the menu is a mysterious item. Condensed milk with plenty of honey on a waffle with lavish amounts of sugar. It makes your mouth feel sweet just imagining it. I can see it working. Condensed milk is a little sus, my guy. I know it's more of like an Asian thing where they have like milk as an actual flavor. But yeah, I guess because you can't really do cream. It'd be some really fucking thick cream if you put it on a waffle. But you can mix it with the honey. Okay. I can see it, but I feel it needs something a little more than the honey. You know, if you add a little fruit in there, now we're fucking cooking with gas. You hear me? But that just sounds really sweet. Recommended for lovers of sweet foods is what it says, but any way you look at it, that's just too sweet. What's wrong, Akane? Her expression is sparkling, or at least that's how it feels. Are you serious? She gives a firm nod. Shouldn't you start with something safer, like strawberry? Seems she's not willing to budge on this issue. Alright, go ahead, have that one then. Well, if that's how you feel, I don't really mind. I mean, I don't see how your opinion really dictates on what she can and can't eat, but okay. Unless you're, like, just buying a big one to share. When our turn comes around, the attendant, who looks like a part-timer, greets us with a smile from behind the register. What? Why'd you have to specify that he's a part-timer? I feel like most people that work at a fucking waffle stand aren't full-time. Or, well, what kind of restaurant is this? Is it a stand or is it... I'm gonna assume it's like just a little thing with like a street side stall window. Like, you know, it's got the little awning above it and the window fucking at street side, and you could probably go in and sit down, but most people just grab and go. Like an ice cream place. Let's see. We'll have a box with 4 of that one at the bottom of the menu. The attendant's smile freezes the moment I announce my order. At least, that's how it feels. Also 4. How big are these waffles? Fuck. Yeah. A little while later, we receive our order and step out of line. Sure did. Akane happily carries the bag of fresh waffles in her arms. Yeah, let's hurry up and eat them. These kinds of things are best when they're freshly made. Now then, where should we eat? When it comes to places to sit down around here, the park would probably be best. Shall we go to the park then? Her voice is subdued as she drops her gaze to the bag of waffles clutched to her chest. A surprising suggestion. I'm going to assume it's just because your house is closer. My house, huh? But why now all of a sudden? Don't believe that Akane really wants to go to my house. Oh? Hey, Yukiko-san? Yeah, she is, since she's got the day off. Want to give her one?
お世話になった
Hey.
お礼を言いたいです
I see. So that's how it is. Okay, in that case, let's all have the waffles together.
はい
This is my aunt's house. A single house in a normal, everyday residential district. The home of my guardian, Yukiko-san.
知ってます
Come to think of it, this is the third time you've been here.
はい
The first time was last Christmas. Second time was on that January day tinged with cold rain. At the time, I couldn't even imagine such things. Like this warm weather, or Akane's smile.
どうしたんですか
Oh, it's nothing. Taking off her shoes, we head inside.
お邪魔します
Akane gives a bow as she changes into slippers in the hallway. Let's head to my room for now. Turning to my side, I urge Akane onwards with my gaze.
はい
Giving a nod, she follows after me. This is my room. Well, I guess you already knew that too.
はい
Opening the door, I wave her in. Well, take a seat somewhere.
どこか
But where? She casts a glance around the room. Mounds of randomly stacked magazines, the empty bags of snacks, which I have carefully preserved for some reason instead of tossing them away. Having formed into a lair, they completely cover my room. Well, okay, that's an exaggeration. But it's true that there doesn't seem to be any space available for sitting inside my room. I'm sorry about the mess.
はい
Don't say that. I just didn't have the time to clean it up.
気にしません
He didn't expect to have a girl over.
私の部屋も散らかってますから
My bedroom is actually surprisingly clean, but that's just because I literally only go up there to sleep. Mainly because, you know, it's the only thing upstairs is the two spare bedrooms, and one of them is my study room, which, you know, I'm not taking any classes right now, so I have nothing to study, so. I do occasionally read in there, though, if I want to sit under the kotatsu. Because it is super comfy, super nice, good for the soul. She whispers somewhat apologetically, gently lowering her pretty eyelashes. Well, I suppose I also work out up there sometimes, like if I just want to do like some push-ups, sit-ups, planks, and all that stuff. Because the whatchamacallit, the tatami mats, you know, give a little more cushion than these hardwood floors, which would destroy my back and like elbows and knees. Oh god, fucking picture me just lying there in a broken heap on the ground because of this wooden floor. Let's see. Oh, I know. Why don't you just sit on the bed? Akane takes a seat there without a word. Alright, I'll just go and call my aunt.
はい
I walk out of the room, leaving Akane on her own. I head down the stairs to the first floor. Yukiko-san! Calling out in a quiet voice, I walk down the corridor towards the living room. Yukiko-san! I walk around the first floor, searching for my aunt and soul housemate. The living room, and then the kitchen. But my aunt is nowhere to be found. That's strange. I've got the day off from work today, so I'll make you something special for dinner. Is what she said in the morning, but for some reason, there's no sign of her here. Is she out grocery shopping? Or has she just completely forgotten? Because eternity, fading from reality, all that fun stuff. Has she gone out? Or maybe she's holding her breath while hiding in the fridge in order to surprise me? That's ridiculous. There's no way that pragmatic Yukiko-san would do something so meaningless. Don't hide in the fridge, that's how you die as a child. Well, they don't make fridges like that anymore with where the door locks and can only be opened from the outside. Because that would happen. Kids would be playing hide and seek and crawl in the fridge and fucking die. That's why most refrigerator doors you just push and like there's that thin magnet strip to keep it closed. Though my family's Okay, this is gonna sound really fucking like upper middle class bougie, but I promise you it's not. Lakeside cabin up in Vermont. Now this is an old cabin. Like, it's like 100% wood. There's like no insulation. There's like 2 beds, a wooden stove, a regular like electric stove, a sink, the fridge, and the bathroom, and that's it. It's like 1 room, like up on the side of the lake. You couldn't build it now because of new housing laws and whatever, but it gets grandfathered in as an exception because of, you know, it was already built. You can't just fucking tell them to tear it down and move it back. It's like on stilts over the edge of the lake. But anyway, it has all the appliances in there are from like the 50s, and it has like one of those nice like cobalt blue refrigerators with like the chrome door handle. But it is one of the ones where if you're a kid, you could theoretically crawl in and get locked in and fucking suffocate and die. They don't make them like that anymore. There you go. Don't crawl in refrigerators. It's bad. But in that case, just what? Huh? Suddenly, I noticed a sheet of memo paper on the kitchen table. Something urgent came up, so I'm going out. Please make do with something instant as usual. Yukiko. Busy as usual, I see. Should at least take it easy at home during her day off. Not sure whether to be impressed or exasperated. Scrunching up the memo and tossing it into the garbage bin, I suddenly realized something important. Knowing Yukiko-san, she probably wouldn't be back until tonight at the earliest, or possibly even tomorrow. Right now, in this meaninglessly big house, there's only 2 people, Akane and myself. Well, I guess it can't be helped that we ended up in this situation. I'll just have to resign myself to it with good grace. However, and this is the most important about the situation, most important point about the situation, Akane will think that I lied to her about my aunt being here just to invite her to my house when no one's home. You could just bring her the note and be like, sorry man, my aunt's out. It's almost as though I had some ulterior motive in letting her come. Here. Talk about an awkward situation. What are you gonna do, Kohei? I fold my arms and think about my unexpected predicament. Well, never mind. Shikatanai. That's the conclusion I arrive at. It's not as though I have a guilty conscience, so there's nothing to worry about. Having settled that, I leave the kitchen. I'm back. Opening the door, I enter the room. Are you like huffing our pillow like a fucking weirdo? Akane's sitting there in the bed in the same position I left her. She stares at me as I stand in the doorway. It's been a while since I left the room, so it's possible that she's anxious. Wouldn't you know it, I got lost in my own house. I smile as I sit down on the carpet in an attempt to smooth things over. It wasn't easy looking for someone with 17 people in the kitchen. By the way, there were 21 in the bath and 43 in the toilet. That can't be up to, like, fire code. With a single sentence, she brings us back to the main topic. Well, about that. Something suddenly came up, so she had to leave. I take a quick glance at her expression. I don't detect any particular change to it. Honestly? I decided to answer her question honestly. 11 o'clock at the earliest. She might not be back today at all. Her expression remains the same, but her gaze lowers by a tiny fraction. Could it be that Akane is feeling self-conscious too? The thought suddenly occurs to me, but I immediately feel guilty for thinking it. So, what will you do? I don't know what you mean if you just say yes. Looking around the room, I search for something we can enjoy together. There's no point in us reading a magazine together. And she probably doesn't play games. I mean, you can play like Tetris or like Puyo Puyo. As I look around the room, my gaze suddenly meets with Akane's. It's a strange feeling to think that Akane is sitting right here on my bed in my room.
何？
Akane, can we kiss one more time?
嫌です。
Oof. That part of her hasn't changed at all. She's still exactly the same way as when we first met. Hey, I know you went to the trouble of coming all the way here today, but why don't we try this again another day? I'll be sure to tell my aunt, too.
ワッフル食べませんか？
She quietly points with her eyes to the waffles that we had abandoned on the table.
冷めたら美味しくないです。
Sure, let's just like go down to the dining room, though, or something. Or the living room. You're right. Let's go on and eat our share first.
はい。
I'll go and make us something to drink. I get up from the floor.
私も手伝います。
She gets up from the bed. Really? Thanks. The two of us descend the stairs to the kitchen together.
コーヒーと紅茶、どっちが好きですか？
Coffee, please. Despite this being my house, she already knows her way around, having used the kitchen once before. She works a lot more efficiently than I do. Black tea. Boo.
はい。
Putting on an apron, she opens the cupboard. Taking out cups for the tea, she places them on the table. Then she places the tea bags in the cup while boiling the water. Hey, Akane?
はい。
Do you put on an apron even when making tea?
はい。
Oh yeah, tea stains. Isn't it a bother?
気分の問題です。
Well, not that I mind. Finally, the water's boiled, so Akane, still in her pink apron, pours it into the cup. Left with nothing to do, I stand there holding a tray so that we can carry it back to my room.
できました。
Right, I'll carry it then. Placing the two tea-filled cups on my tray, we return to my room. The two of us sit facing each other on the cramped floor, sipping our tea. Do you have like a little low table, or just holding it and the waffles just sitting on the carpet? Well, obviously in their box/bag, but slurp. Hold on. I have some coffee left in my cup and none left in the pot, so you know, the sound effects, you know. Just that. This is delicious.
インスタントです。
That coffee was okay. But it's got this hidden taste.
何も入ってないです。
The secret ingredient was love! Let's eat the waffles. As if just remembering about them, I reach for the waffles. Munch. Hey, PS1 CGs. Because the art style is slightly different. I stuff my cheeks with one. Yeah, it's still warm. That's good. Ugh. Okay, is it like a soft waffle where like the entire thing is soft, or is it one of the ones where like kind of the outside's like it's a little crunchy? Because those are the good ones. Like I like the ends where it's like where it definitely crunches instead of just like being soft and not quite soggy, but you know, like moist. I like texture to my waffle, you know. Ugh. I stopped moving. Akane.
はい。
Akane follows my example, stuffing the waffle into her mouth. Don't you think this is ridiculously sweet?
美味しいです。
When it comes down to it, I like sweet food, but I get the feeling that this is too sweet even for me. A single bite and I'm already at my limit. I sit there bewildered while staring at my waffle with only a small piece missing.
ごちそうさま。
Akane has absolutely no difficulty in finishing the viciously sweet waffle. She takes a gradual sip of the black tea. If you like sweet food so much, why is it that you don't get fat? Going by the line of her uniform, her body seems to be the ideal shape. Not too fat, but not too thin. Yeah, that was pretty blunt, my guy. No tact. It seems she's embarrassed at the way I'm staring at her body. Falling silent, she looks away. Something cute about the way she acts that makes me want to tease her further. About what I said before. Are you sure you don't want to?
さっきの話
I mean, lips are all sweet from the waffle. About kissing one more time?
嫌です
And no matter what?
どうしてもです
Oof. But I really like you, Akane. Hell yeah, fucking guilt her into it. Flustered, she lowers her eyes. Her face turns red.
私もです
Thanks. I'm sure I hear her murmur those words. Then the two of us fall silent. The atmosphere grows somewhat awkward. Ah! Shattering the silence is the sudden sound of my alarm clock ringing. Why the fuck do you have your alarm clock set for, like, the afternoon?
鳴ってますよ
Turning her gaze away from me, she looks at the alarm clock beside my bed. Unless, well, it's too bright out for it to be like 6 or 7, so the only thing I'm thinking of, because, you know, my alarm clock, this is too, it'll go off every 12 hours because there's no way to set it for the full day, you know, it just makes one rotation around, and then, you know, oh, it's 1 p.m. And if it hits like 7 p.m., it'll ring again if you don't turn off the switch on the back. Did I read this line? I forget, man. Turning her gaze away from me, she looks back at the alarm clock beside my bed. I feel like I did.
止めましょうか
Please do. I nod while sighing.
はい
Sitting closer to it than I am, she reaches out and takes it into her hand. And then... yeah, she doesn't know what to do. What's wrong?
止まらないんですけど
Bewildered, she holds the still ringing alarm clock in her hands. Have you pushed the button on the top?
押しました
Have you tried pushing it harder?
一生懸命押しました
Hasn't been in good shape for a while now, but are you one of those people who fucking throws your alarm clock like an animal?
壊れてるんですか
I mean, I won't lie, I've done that too, but, like, I've thrown it at like a pile of clothes or something, so it doesn't break. Yeah, it rings in the morning, but I still can't get up.
それは時計のせいじゃないです
But it's true that it hasn't been working properly lately. I'm thinking about getting a new one sometime.
はい
Anyhow, let's do something about this right now. Give here for a sec.
はい
Give me a quiet nod. She passes the clock over to me. It's times like these when you have to rely on your fighting spirit. Oh my god. I rapidly pound the switch on the top of the clock. I thought he was banging it against the floor like the one fucking SpongeBob episode where Squidward has the entire closet of alarm clocks. Yeah, this get you going, Akane. Look how cool he is how he's beating this alarm clock. Getting you all hot and bothered, huh? Damn it! Why won't you stop ringing? Now that's come to this, I'll just have to destroy it! It's been acting up before, but it seems that now, its final moments have arrived. Goodbye, alarm clock. Thanks for everything. Giving a big swing with my arm, I aim straight at the floor.
電池抜かないんですか
Smashing it into... Silently lowering the clock from over my head, I removed the batteries from the back. It stopped.
これで止まらなかったら怖いです
That's true, unless it's a wound clock. Now I feel tired. Heaving a sigh, I sit back down on the bed. Thanks to that, though, the awkward atmosphere has dissipated. Now then, what do we do? I turn to my side to see that Akane has also taken a seat on the bed. She stares at her hands, placed over her knees as she sits in her well-mannered posture. Then, she gradually turns in my direction.
さっきの話構いません。
Hey, let's go! Akane gonna be the only girl who gets to fuck in the bed? Nice! Or are we just gonna fucking take her outside on the cold concrete like in your backyard or something, just so it's fair? She murmurs in a low voice, her face bright red. What I said before. Only one thing comes to mind. I wanted to kiss her again. That was what I had told her. You sure about this? I ask in reply.
そんなこと聞かないでください。
Confirming consent is important and hot. Alright. Nodding, I draw up to her lips. Smooch! Silently, our lips make contact. It's not like the first cold kiss we shared. It's a warm, sweet kiss. Akane shyly closes her eyes. Well, yeah, it's good courtesy to do that, otherwise it's just weird. Like, please don't be, like, staring directly in my face. It's like, it's not hot. I mean, do we? I mean, I appreciate the choice to just have a romantic kiss and not edit any H scene stuff. I mean, I appreciate them putting the choice right here, because honestly, I don't want to do any editing, but I do this for you folks. I want her. She's the one I really love, the one I treasure from the bottom of my heart. That's why I want her. Alright, fucking golem, my precious. Leaning in against her body, I push her down onto the sheets. Pumph. My body just about covers her. She offers no resistance. Akane, are you really okay with this? Seems somewhat late to be asking now, but I want to confirm how Akane feels after all.
私は嫌だったら嫌と言います。
Consent confirmed. We're going in. Of course. Giving a wry laugh, I gently reach out and caress her body. It doesn't feel as though it's what Akane wants, but even so, she's willing to accept my touch. Through her uniform, I savor the sensation of touching her for the first time. I can hear the sounds of her heartbeat growing louder. Without a doubt, being able to touch the one I love like this stirs my emotions. Looking away from me, Akane continues to accept my touch. Each wistful gesture she makes is lovable. Undoing the buttons on her blouse, I lift up her uniform and... cut! Nice! Awesome! Booba! Ha ha ha! What's my time code? Okay, goodbye YouTube people. We're hopping over. Unless you're not, and you're just gonna be skipping on ahead, you know, which, you know, it'll be happening right now. Okay, hello YouTube folks. If you didn't go down to the Mega to watch the it's been no time at all for you, but for the Mega people, yes, we are back. Hello. That was pretty all right. Pretty good, my guy. Very tasteful sex scenes in this game, as I've said before, that I appreciate. How they're, like, fairly short. That one was like, well, it was probably only like 10 minutes like the others, but I fucking rambled about bullshit for like an extra 5 minutes, so it kind of went on. But yeah. We did it. We got it. We got it. We got some. And And with the cut there, we're at about a little over an hour, so that seems like a good place to stop for today, and we'll probably finish up the Akane Route next time. So, once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all next time for another episode of 1, which I might upload tomorrow, instead of, you know, I might honestly finish this today after I, like, take a break and have lunch. I might just do another recording session, which will be uploaded tomorrow on the 8th. It is the 7th currently. And yeah, we'll just fucking 1-2 punch the shit out, because this episode should have been up yesterday. Oops. But, once again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, comment, everything. Subscribe. I don't have a Patreon, but just PayPal me. Ask me for my PayPal, and I'll just PayPal and give me your life savings. Do it. Sell your blood to pay for me. To I don't know. I was about to say buy a mic, but my mic's actually pretty good. Like, it's a Blue Yeti. Which one is in particular? I actually think I have the box for it somewhere. Come on. Yeah, it's a Blue Yeti Nano with in shadow gray. It was like $100 maybe. That sounds about right. No, it's a pretty good mic. Could be better. If I really wanted to get fancy, I could get one of the ones where that's not a USB mic that actually like goes into its own like soundboard and then it connects up to my computer. So that way I'd have like air horn sound effects too that I could use. Maybe someday I'll fucking upgrade into that. But for now, we must part. So I'll stop dragging this on and on and let you guys go about your day. So once again, see you guys later. Thanks. Bye.